Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're making a Canadian keychain. So for this project you're going to need a few things. You're going to need some red and some white, and make sure that your yarn is all the same size. You're going to need some pliers and some needle nose so that you can open the chain link that you're going to use for your keychain part. You're also going to need the keychain part for it, which is one of those. You're going to need some Canadian flag stickers. So I'm going to put this up on the screen so you know what and where. I got them from Amazon, so I'm going to put it up on the screen. And we're going to build it all with a 4.5mm G7 hook. Let's get right into this. So we start this hump with white, and then our red comes in shortly after that. So both humps are the same. So I'm going to build one with you, and then I'll put the pattern up. You're going to see reds and an R and W beside things, and even though you can see it on screen, it will show in the pattern red and white in brackets as R and W. So, and it'll be on your screen written that way as well. So you're going to start with white and a magic ring of 6 single crochets. So this is being built in amigurumi. So we're going to need a stitch marker. And if you're not comfortable with the magic ring, you can always do a chain 2 and put 6 single crochets into the first stitch and then pull it closed. It should look just like this. You're going to do 2 single crochets into the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to switch to red. So, on my second stitch, I'm not going to finish it with my white. I'm going to finish it with my red. You can do a color change however you choose to do a color change. But if you are new and you don't really have a way, this is how I do it. That way I don't have to do all kinds of weaving, and it's bad enough I'm going to have a million fingers. So both of these colors stay attached throughout the project. So with your red, these next 2 stitches are going to get 2 single crochets in each of them. So on this last stitch, we need to finish it with the white. So you're going to follow the same design all the way through the project. So pull your straggler tight so that your magic ring closes. Your next round is going to be with white, 1 single crochet and an increase. So I'm going to weave in my straggler at the back. So that's 1 single crochet, put a marker on that. We're going to do this 4 times, 1 single crochet increase. So your next stitch gets an increase of 2 single crochets. That's 1 time. You're going to do 3 more times. Last time, 1 single crochet and an increase. On your second stitch, you're going to have to go back to your red. I'm going to cut my straggler off. That's as far as I'm going to weave. So I'm going to go back to my red. So because you have to pull across, just make sure that you pull your red down. It's not so tight. But you can also weave in a part of this red to keep it in place too. So make sure you pull your white down nice and tight as well. Everything should be quite taut, but not enough to make this fold up. So with your red, you're going to do 1 single crochet and an increase 2 times. Again, on your last stitch, you're going to need to go back to the white. So for the next 2 rows, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do 12 single crochets in white and 6 single crochets in red for the next 2 rows. And that'll be the end of your hump. So this is my last stitch. You can fasten off, so just go into your next stitch. Fasten off. You need a weaving tail, but we're not sewing with any of this, so you can cut your weight off as well. So, as far as this guy, don't go through the white, just go straight down here and weave him down. So that's your hump. Go ahead and make your second one. I'll put the pattern on the screen and I'll meet you right back here. So that's your 2 humps. We're going to get an extra piece of white to sew these humps together in the white. So put a slip knot on one end and a needle on the other. So you can use 4 stitches. You just need to make sure that this is going to be even. So you've got 12 stitches and you're going to be using 4. So counting by 4, 3, 4, into the 5th stitch, one, 2, 3, 4, into the 5th stitch. We're going to pop across and go through our slip knot. So pull that so you make a knot. Make it a double knot. So 4 stitches, that's number 1. I'm going back in again just so I can make a knot. Cut that off. Stick everything back down. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This small one where I fastened off is a stitch. So that's what you should have. We are going to be using our sew spots, so we are going to be making this 5 in there. It just spreads it out better, makes it look good. I do it with my fingers when I sew my fingers together as well, so that's what we're going to be doing. So you need to take your white and reattach. So make a slip knot and put it on your hook. We're going to reattach right into this side. Which is a sew spot. So you can reattach any way you want. I'll do a slip stitch, doesn't matter. You're still going to have to put another stitch in place. So it's a stitch for your stitch marker. So make sure you pull your knot nice and tight. That's stitch number 1. You're going to do 5 with white. So that's number 1. And then we had 4, remember? So this is my 5th stitch, and I'm going to red. And I'm going to do my color change the same way by tying everything. Again, you can do yours any way you want. Try not to cut these too short because you want them to be in there. You don't want them boinging out and getting in your way. So again, we're going to be probably pulling across. You're going to have to pull back and tuck it all down inside just so it doesn't pull your heart out of shape. So we're doing 2 rows of what we're doing now. We're going to do 2 rows of it. So with red, you're going to do 6 single crochets. Oops, that's my 6th stitch. Getting ahead of myself. This bump here is where you fastened off, so we're ignoring that. And we're going back to our white. So because I've pulled across, I need to pull back on this. And again, you can weave that part in if you want, by just holding it over. So now we're going past this bump into this tiny wee stitch, which is a stitch to start. You're going to do 10 single crochets in white. That's number 1. Your 5th stitch is your sew spot. And again, your sew spot. This is my 10th stitch. I'm going back to red. Red is way over here, so I'm going to pull it across. And then I'm going to pull it back. Pull my white nice and tight. So I will weave in probably only 1 with red. I'm going to do 6 single crochets. The only reason I weaved in that 1 is to make sure that doesn't get bigger when I go. So just pull your humps apart to make sure that that is as loose as it should be. So I'm going to do 6 single crochets with my red. And of course I have another bump here where I fastened off, but we're just going to ignore that again. Pull back on your white. Make sure your red is tight. And then you're going to do 5 single crochets with your white. And your silk spot makes it 5. I know it's hard to see me. I get into some awkward positions. So that is the beginning. We're going to do that exact same thing again. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put it up on the screen again so you can follow it, but I'm not going to talk you through it. Alright. So this is what you should have. So your next round is going to start with 5 single crochets with white. With red, you're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease 1 time. That's 1 single crochet, and then your decrease, front loop, and then front loop, yarn over, pull through those 2, yarn over and finish the stitch. And then 3 single crochets. Change to white. So with white, you're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease 1 time. That's 3 single crochets and then a decrease. And then 5 single crochets. Switch to red. And again, we're going to do 1 single crochet, decrease 1 time. And then 3 single crochets. Switch to white. And with white, you're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. So you should have 28 stitches. Your next round starts with 5 single crochets. So with your red, you're going to do SC2 tog, which is just a decrease. Then you're going to do 3 single crochets. Go to white. And with your white, you're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease one time. That's 2 single crochets, and then your decrease one time, and then 5 single crochets. So now with your red, you're going to do, what was I doing? SC2 tog, yeah. SC2 tog. Pull down on that. And then 3 single crochets. And with your white, you're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease one time. Oops. That's 2 single crochet decrease one time. We forgot to put the marker in. I forgot to put the marker in. So we should be at the end of it. You should have 24 stitches. We're at the end. I forgot to put my marker in. That confused me for a second. I'm going to remember the marker this time. So sticking with your white, you're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease one time. That's number 1. 2 decrease, 2 single crochet decrease, and then 1 single crochet and a color change. So with red this round, you're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease one time. Whoops, my red keeps. It's hard to keep everything tight when you go to make your stitches. So 1 single crochet and a decrease one time, and then 1 single crochet to do your color change. So now with white, you're going to do 1 single crochet decrease, and then you're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease, and then 1 single crochet for the color change. So this is going to be 1 single crochet and a decrease, and then 1 single crochet for the color change. then with white, 1 single crochet decrease finishes the row, and you should have 18 stitches. So we are going to be stuffing this soon because we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. So if you want to, actually, let's stuff it now. We'll put some stuffing in it now. So your next round starts with white, obviously. You're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease 1 time. And then 1 single crochet to do your color change. I don't think you have to be, get the stitch mark out of the way. I don't think you have to be super concerned about this red anymore. And we are kind of getting down to the nitty gritty. So with red, I want you to do 1 single crochet and a decrease. So don't finish the decrease with red. You've got to finish it with white. And now with white, you're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease. Two times. So don't finish the second time with your white. You got to finish it with your red. I have to 15 fingers for this. So with your red, you're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease. And again, don't finish the decrease with red. You got to finish it with white. And then with white, you're just going to do an SC2 tog. So you're just going to do a decrease to finish this round. And you can cut your red off. So now all you have left is white. So you should have 12 stitches. Our decrease is going to be, let's keep stuffing this. Our decrease is just going to be 6 decreases in a row. So make sure this is stuffed the way you want it. So I'm going to take my marker out because I know that I'm probably going to be counting these decreases. So 6 decreases in a row. There. That leaves you with 6 stitches. You can fasten off. With a little bit of a sewing tail, just because we're going to cinch it. And then whatever, I'm going to get a hook with a rubber end on it so I can fill this last bit. You definitely want a point on this. So we cinch. In the front loop of the first stitch, out the front loop of the second stitch. Pop across and go through your loopy loop to make your knot. Both ways. I want to make sure we get a point on this. So pull to make your point. Now weaving, you just gotta be careful with. There we go. So you can move your stuffing around a bit. Shape your heart a little bit. So that's the top. That's the heart with your point, if you can get the stuffing down in there. So turn your hot glue gun on, because even though these are stickers, they're not going to keep sticking. So turn your hot glue gun on, and then we'll get the stickers when that's ready. In the meantime, while it's warming up, we can do this. So find the end that opens. So you're going to twist it so it's open. You can see that. And then hook it. You only need a little piece of yarn. And then bend it back closed again. But then I like to squeeze that together to make sure it's not going to we're not going to lose any links. So just make sure you squeeze it properly. Yeah, I think mine's good. Squeeze it, make sure it doesn't open. There we go. So I've got the two hearts that I'm going to be using, one on each side, and my hot glue gun is warming up. And I want to talk to you a bit. I'm going to use this dowel, and you're going to think I'm nuts, but it's already got glue on it. But so I'm going to show you the one this is the one I did for the video, my prototype. Gluing this on, if the glue is really hot, you need to let the glue cool, but I found it didn't crinkle as much if I rubbed it with this, but you can still see the crinkles a little bit, but they're not as noticeable. When I did the one before this, it has a lot of crinkles, so I rubbed this with the wooden dowel to cut down on the crinkles. So that's why I'm going to be using the wooden dowel. So my hot glue gun is decent. It's not super duper duper hot because you don't want the glue to be super duper duper hot. So just kind of put it where you think that the middle of this maple leaf is going to be. Because you don't have to necessarily, so we're just going to let it cool down a bit while we peel our sticker off. This doesn't necessarily have to be, you don't have to glue down every single side of it. But just make sure you're getting it in the middle. So I put it on half, put it on, and then I'm just gonna, it acts as a rolling pin too. It'll kind of squish your glue out. But you certainly don't want to any crinkles. And then you can go around and put your little daubs here and there to, oh, I got my thing crooked. Oh well. Okay, just pretend my leaf isn't crooked. And then you can go around and put your little daubs underneath here. Again, just make sure you're using something to kind of help it along so it doesn't get all crinkly. And then I really didn't worry about all the other sides. Let's do this again with my other side. Maybe I can get it straight. Yeah, this side worked out much better. Might still be a little crooked, but... So I'm squeezing the little dollop, if I can get it out, on my heart itself. Because if it's super hot when you try to glue it down, it's not going to go well for you. And again, this will act like a rolling pin. Like some of my glue just popped out over here, because this acts like a rolling pin. So that's my suggestion. You don't need to take it. You put this on any way you want to. If you had some E6000 or E7000 glue, which is craft glue, really, really good craft glue, that'll work too. But I ran out of some of that and I haven't bought any more. So I'm using my hot glue gun. And that is that. That is your heart keychain. So I hope you like it. I have an American one. If you do this and you want to make an American one, I do have an American keychain up on my channel. So go check that out. Like, share, do all the things that are good and helpful. And I'll see you in the next video.